Good morning, Nigeria. Bayelsa. Welcome to another engaging edition of Let's Talk Nigeria on Golden 97.5 FM, the program where policy meets people and global issues connect with local realities. I am Moya Stiving.
And I am Paul Oblomugbasa.
Today we will turn our focus to international diplomacy with a distinctly Niger Delta lens as we discuss the topic UK-Nigeria cooperation. What's in it for Bayelsa? Now, the relationship between the United Kingdom and Nigeria has a long and complex history, from colonial ties to modern partnerships in trade, education, security, energy, and climate action. Now, in recent years, this cooperation has been undergoing a strategic shift with renewed emphasis on mutual economic benefit, private sector investment, development aid, and people-to-people exchange. But what does all this mean for a resource-rich yet development-challenged state like Bayelsa State? Beyond the diplomatic statements and higher-level agreements, how can international cooperation translate into real opportunities for the average Bayelsan in terms of jobs, infrastructure, skills, and environmental protection and sustainability growth?
And in all of these different conversations, we know that Bayelsa plays a very, very pivotal role in the Niger Delta and as well as Nigeria as a whole. And the relationship between the UK and Nigeria relating to Bayelsa as a whole is going to be very, very important today. And this morning, we're looking at everything. Remember, Bayelsa wasn't mistakenly christened the glory of all lands for mistake. No, it is something essential. And that's why we have someone very special this morning. We have a conversation that you would love and everyone in Bayelsa would love. So welcome to this special program now.
And just to remind you, Bayelsa sits at the heart of Nigeria's oil and gas economy, yet grapples with issues of poverty, environmental degradation, youth unemployment, and limited industrialization. So on the program today, we'll look at the prospects of the relationship between Nigeria and Britain. How can Bayelsa become an active beneficiary and contributor? What policy choices and investment strategies are required to turn foreign cooperation into tangible local development? Joining us on the program to help us understand all of these is a career diplomat with extensive experience across Africa, Asia, and Europe. Her overseas postings have included Romania, India, Japan, and South Sudan, where she served as Deputy Head of Mission in Juba. She has held a diverse range of roles at the Foreign, Commonwealth, and Development Office, including Head of Overseas Health and Welfare, Deputy Head of Southeast Asia Department, Human Resources Business Partner for Europe, Africa, and Asia, and on the African Peacekeeping Policy Desk in the UN Department. Now, in 2021, she was awarded the Order of the British Empire, OBE, by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II for her service to health and welfare and British nationals while working on frontline COVID-19 pandemic response. Now, beyond her diplomatic career, she has worked in the voluntary sector, establishing child drowning prevention programs and raising funds for women's and children's projects across the world. She is a qualified swimming teacher, open water swimmer, and a strong advocate for women's leadership and political partnership. It's with great pleasure we welcome the British Deputy High Commissioner to Abuja, Gill Lever. Thank you for joining us on the program this morning.
Morning, thank you very much. Art is on, Bayelsa, Ottoado.
Oh, nice.
I tried to learn a bit of Ijaw before I came. I did my best. Thank you very much for the wonderful introduction. I'm delighted to be here with you at Golden FM. I'm hearing a lot about the buzz you're creating with your new radio station.
Thank you.
So thanks for having me on. And I'm delighted to be here in Bayelsa. It's my first visit here. The glory of all the lands, the cradle of Nigeria's, oil story, and the state with a soul. So I'm super keen to learn about everything that you have to offer in Bayelsa State. And just to say, over the next few days, meeting a lot of different people, spoken to the chair of PANDEF, we're talking to politicians, the governor, King as well. So we're super keen to hear everybody's voices from Bayelsa. And I live in Abuja most of the time. Any capital city will give you a false reading about a country.
True,
So it's so important
true.
to look at other states and have the experience of coming to Bielsa is, second to none. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're great, and we're pleased to have you too. So stay tuned, listeners, as it promises to be an engaging and interesting conversation, because it's Let's Talk Nigeria. All right, so let's get started. Let's start with the first question, ma'am. What brings you to Bielsa State, and what are you hoping to achieve during this visit?
Well, thank you very much. So as I said, it's really important as the British government we understand Nigeria in all its diversity. And Bielsa, I've not visited for a couple of years now, so it was time to come in the run-up to the elections, take the temperature, see what progress is being made in Bielsa State. And I'm talking to a range of stakeholders, politicians and civil society, to understand your sort of ground truth and reality. Ijaw means truth, doesn't it? I'm here for the
Absolutely.
I'm here for the truth. So I'm also to manage the transition of something called the Brighter Futures programme, where we've been partnering with Bielsa State, and one of the few states we're partnering on this particular crime prevention initiative as well, which we can talk about more in a moment, but talking to the governor about that today and looking for transitional arrangements, something I think is very important to Bielsa's security and prosperity. So hoping to achieve a good understanding, to kind of take forward some partnerships, and take back with me to headquarters, to London, a better understanding of Bielsa and what the opportunities are for partnership here with you.
Yeah, you mentioned about a Brighter Future program. Could you just tell us what this is all about, how it works, and what it offers?
Yes, absolutely. So we're very pleased with this program. We've had very good partnership here from the Ministry of Youth Development, also from the commissioners here, from the governor himself. And from the police and anti-drug authorities. So it's a big partnership with multi-agency approach. The fundamental purpose is to prevent vulnerable people from turning to a life of crime. So working with the police, training the police in community outreach, this is a sort of approach that's worked pretty well in the UK, so we're sharing our experience, knowing that actually it may work differently in Nigeria. So working with the law enforcement and looking with the communities to kind of to spot the vulnerable people and then to step in with opportunities for them. So vocational training is one particular area, and there are about 250 people, women and men, trained in Bielsa on everything from sort of baking to tailoring to digital literacy, so that they can then have their own livelihoods and be less susceptible to the attractions, if you will, of organised crime.
Great. So you mentioned about the Brighter Futures program, but looking at a wider UK-Nigeria relationship, so what are the priorities of the UK in working with Bielsa, and are there any other updates for the people of Bielsa State?
So I'm absolutely delighted to talk about this. So in 2024, we signed a strategic partnership with Nigeria. So, in Abuja, and our foreign minister was here with Foreign Minister Tugar, and that covers a number of areas, everything from security to prosperity, mutual economic prosperity, to people links. So there's a huge, broad and deep relationship, and we're covering migration and justice issues, and we're also talking about sort of defence and security collaboration. And the kind of icing on the cake is that President Tinubu will be going to London next month on the 18th and 19th of March for a state visit, and he'll spend time with His Majesty King Charles III, and he'll spend time also with the government, with the Prime Minister, and meet a Nigerian diaspora. So how that translates into Bielsa is looking here, seeing what your kind of economic opportunities are, looking at the development trajectory of Bielsa. I can see that already from talking to people that progress is made in security. I wouldn't be here if security was as bad as it was a few years ago, or it would have been more difficult for me to be here.
True.
But I can see progress has been made there, and that's very important, I think, whether someone's an NGO or you're a commercial enterprise. Security is very important. So looking at security and then looking at kind of opportunities for business and looking at opportunities for partnership. Again, Brighter Futures is a very important angle here. That's very important to kind of maintaining security. So looking at what the opportunities are here and what people want to put to us by way of suggestions for collaboration. So a bit of a fact-finding mission, I'm saying all of these things that speak to the priorities we've agreed at sort of strategic level.
Then how do you think that the state, that Bielsa said as a whole, can work with this relationship that's bedded for to make it last longer, and also to make it worth the visit in all the things? How do you think that Bielsa can really just get everything from you?
Yeah, so I think that so just generally speaking, on the on Brighter Futures, we're meeting the governor today, and he's agreeing to be an ambassador for the scheme.
Oh.
And so that as we're transitioning, this has been running for 4 years now, and we're transitioning now to sort of local state level ownership of it. That's very important. You know, it needs to be owned, otherwise it's not long term effective.
True.
So we're transitioning that to the governor and to the authorities here, and we'll be following up, you know, periodically with Bielsa State to continue offering advice to the various partners that we have here, so that that particular programme continues to succeed. More widely on business, this is very important because British businesses will go where there are opportunities.
Sure.
And truth be told, while businesses are focused on security, that is not their top priority. Their top priority is business, the business environment. Mm-hmm. So British businesses want to see enabling environments, and I'm really pleased to see that Bielsa, I think, is the only state with a transparency law. So that is a reassurance, but also good and clear business regulations. So if you enter into a business agreement with a Nigerian partner, that you have proper rules of the road that govern that, and if something goes wrong, then you have some kind of legal recourse. So there's a risk appetite thing there for businesses, and I think that can be managed through better, more transparent and enforceable business regulation. So all part of that enabling environment. So I'm looking at that here over the next couple of days.
Before we go to the next question, let us remind our listeners that you can follow us live on Facebook. We're streaming live on Facebook right now. You can go there, you drop your comments, and we're going to read out your comments later on the show. And also you can listen to us via the Radio Garden app. Just go there to Radio Garden and listen to Golding 97.5 FM Yanagwa. Back to Gill Lever. Look, what role should the Bielsa state government play in attracting UK partners?
So what role should they play? It's all about back to the earlier question, really, is actually looking at how to promote the state, having a strategic plan of action for the areas which the government would like investment. And I'm aware the governor has got a programme as well, so I haven't had a chance to look at that in its detail yet. But there are a number of things that British businesses may well be interested in. So, for example, we have a UK-Nigeria enhanced trade and investment partnership, and that covers a number of areas, including agriculture and digital and sort of legal services. It's and fintech. It's quite a wide range of areas of collaboration. So a state-level development plan that looked at those sort of UK Nigeria agreed priorities would, I think, start to sort of hit the mark a bit more and pique the interests of British businesses.
Yeah, that very, very interesting. Now, I wanted to go back to the Brighter Future program that you're having. What do you think, in these different fragments, what would be your advice to young people first, because you are reaching out to them? What would be your advice to the parents too as well, and also the community leaders in wanting to support the young people to make them be better people at the end of the day? What would be your message to them?
Well, so first of all, my message is that wherever I travel in Nigeria, there's a huge amount of talent. And it almost brings tears to my eyes because there's so much talent and potential in Nigeria, and a lot that's still untapped, I think.
Yeah.
So I think that in order for children or young people to realise their potential, and they're our future, aren't they? Those of us who are getting closer to retirement, aren't the future. The young people are. I would say at state level, education is really important. So there's a lot of emphasis in many states in Nigeria on infrastructure. That's important to markets and for connectivity. But actually we must invest in education. That's your human capital, and Nigeria's got huge potential for human capital. So at state level, education. So for young people and their parents, please do your best to get an education. To the state authorities who run these policies, please make sure there are opportunities for young people to have an education, to understand the world around them and to develop skills. And then I would say also look out for opportunities. Brighter Futures offers an opportunity. Anyone who's interested in that should talk to the Ministry of Youth Development. They've been a very good partner on this to find out more about how they can access. And I think young people working with their parents, working with their communities, working with the authorities is also a good way forward. Some social cohesion around some of these issues that need to be tackled. And then from the UK perspective, what we're offering is scholarships. So we have something called the Chevening Scholarship and Commonwealth Scholarships, which I'm sure the bright young things of Bielsa would be very interested in, and we put those on our social media platforms. So that's one of our offers. And there are a few other things besides, that we could talk about if we had more time. But I feel and actually one more thing I do absolutely want to say. I want us, wherever we are in Nigeria, wherever we are in the world, to support women's political empowerment.
True.
So I'd really like to say, particularly to the young women, but also to the young men, look for leadership, support women in leadership. It brings a different perspective to society, and it's also well evidenced that when women take office, to public office, you get better social and development outcomes. Women think more about social policies, education policies, policies that speak to the family, that speak to health. And I think if we want to see change in policies that really speak to the needs and wants of Nigerian people, and certainly of those I've heard just yesterday talking to civil society, then one of the answers is to have more women in public life.
All right, so we're going for a commercial break, right? We'll return and then probably open the phone lines because I know Nigerians will want to ask a couple of questions. And I guess you're also ready to answer some questions as well.
Do my best.
Oh, great. Let's go for a commercial break. When we return, we will return to the conversation.
Shining brighter than ever. 97.5 FM, the gold standard of radio.
Crusade, Crusade, Crusade. Living Faith Church, Winners Chapel, Swale, Yanagwa presents a 2-day power-packed crusade. Theme, Come See Jesus the Healer. Featuring salvation, healing, deliverance, and breakthrough. Date, Thursday 26th and Friday 27th February 2026. Time, 4:30 p.m. Venue, former Trinity Covenant Church premises, Bakassi, behind St. Peter's near Swale Market, Yanagwa. Ministry, Pastor Olufemi Praise. Announcer, Chairman, District Crusade Planning Committee, Honorable D.C.N. Gesie Isowo. For inquiries, call the numbers 0703 261 5797 and 0706 572 4576.
Shining brighter than ever. 97.5 FM, the gold standard of radio.
The Executive Chairman of Ekeremo Local Government Area, Honorable Onye Isaac, PhD, warmly invites all sons and daughters of Ekeremo to the annual Thanksgiving Day scheduled as follows. Date, Saturday, 28th February 2026. Venue, Ekeremo Pavilion, Ekeremo Town. Time, 12 noon. This solemn and significant gathering is dedicated to appreciating God for his unwavering faithfulness, abundant blessings, and continued guidance over our land and its people. It will be a moment of deep reflection, unity, and spiritual renewal as we come together in gratitude and fellowship. All residents, indigents, and friends of Ekeremo Local Government Area are encouraged to be part of this historic and spiritually uplifting occasion. This is signed by Honorable Onye Isaac, PhD, Executive Chairman, Ekeremo Local Government Area.
Feel the rhythm, feel the gold. 97.5 Golden FM by Yelsa's Music Powerhouse. Cruising around by Yelsa on 97.5 Golden FM.
Welcome to Let's Talk Nigeria. We are discussing UK-Nigeria cooperation, what's in it for Bielsa, and we have the British Deputy High Commissioner to Abuja, Gill Lever, here with us in the studio. We're about running of this conversation. I don't know, but perhaps we'll have to hear from you, your parting shots. What would you want to say as you step out? Because I know you are quite busy. You have other activities to attend to.
Okay, so no questions for me. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, look, thank you very much for your hospitality at Golden FM today, and thank you to everyone who's meeting us yesterday and today for their time and for their hospitality. It's been a real pleasure, and I've learned a lot, and I've still got a lot to learn. But I'm wishing everyone in Bielsa State the very best for their future. As I said, huge potential, and I hope it can be realised. In the over the next few years. So I'll come again. I won't be a stranger. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Okay, we normally say here, we say Mbana, that is thank you.
Bana.
Mbana, that's we say thank you, and say Noah.
Noah.
Yeah.
Noah. Bana. Noah.
No,
Thank you so much.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Bielsa, you are going to be engaging with us, even as with Gill Lever steps to attend to other matters. You will be engaging with us on Let's Talk Nigeria, so the program continues.